Hi everybody, welcome. So I was guided to start this channel by Spirit, and I never know what I'm actually going to be speaking about until I get onto the channel. And I was guided to do this in the hopes that it can help someone out there. And this channel is it is about my epiphanies. It is about my journey thus far as a light warrior. And it is about any messages that needs to come through from Spirit. I started my spiritual journey 18 years ago. When I actually discovered something that blew my world apart, brought everything crashing down, everything that I'd thought I'd known in my life. It started me on my spiritual journey. And I started searching. I would read books, 5, 6 books at a time, trying to gain as much information and knowledge as I possibly could. And it is something that innately drives you, right? It's not something that you intend doing. It's like there is this driving force that kind of pushes you to want to learn more, because it's like you awaken to the fact that there's so much more to the third dimensional or earthly plane than what we have been told. And about 8 years ago, I started getting messages from Spirit that I was a light warrior. And I have done a lot of spiritual battles since then. It is not easy. A lot of spiritual warfare actually has to do with our own healing and enlightenment, our own acknowledgement of our shadow. But what I have come to notice in the collective is that there is a need for us to start using our gift of discernment. Because there are people in our lives, situations, circumstances that are not adding value to us, that are preventing us from stepping onto our true path, that are keeping us stuck. And so we feel like we can't move forward. And these people might not always intentionally do this. Sometimes they themselves don't even know that they are doing that. But we would know. And just so I had someone in my life for the past 2 years who actually kept me stuck. And we are all being asked to use our gift of discernment to recognize where it is that we are actually keeping ourselves stuck because of the choices and decisions that we are making. Where are you holding yourself stuck? And why are you doing that? For me, I was always a people pleaser. I always hid myself, dimmed my light. But that is when we are so ingrained on the earthly plane that we actually do that. So being called to use our gift of discernment, we need to ask ourselves, does someone, does a circumstance, a place we live in, perhaps our environment, does it add value to us and to our lives? Why do we have this notion that it's okay to accept less than? It really boils down to the fact that we sometimes self-sabotage because we feel guilty, we feel shame. There's not enough self-love. And so we are being called to really look at that, and it is time to really sit with self and to really think about these deep questions. Because if we want to move forward in our lives, we need to think about these things. And we can only do that when we actually spend time in solitude and really think about it. So that was my short message. I'm just actually looking at this, and I just love when that happens. To me, it's magical. And at the moment there's so much things happening. We have awakenings throughout our lives, right? It doesn't just happen once and like bang and then you know everything. No. We go through our whole lives always having awakenings to something. People, places, things. And it is just about being present, observing, and allowing. So, our spirit first started talking to me about spiritual warfare. Was that, okay, let me tell you a story. About 8 years ago, it was a Saturday night, and I had a dream about Star Wars. I was actually in the dream, and I don't really remember all the characters, but I know there was like this tall hairy dude that was in there, then there was a little white robot-y thing or something. And we were running across all these green fields, and we were hiding from the people who actually wanted to end us. But we were doing battle in this dream. So that was the Saturday night when I had this dream. The Sunday, we went to a family member's daughter's 10th birthday. And guess what? She had this big birthday cake. And on the cake was written Star Wars. And I was like, okay. And then following that, everywhere I started seeing Star Wars. I would see it on a car's number plate. I would see it in a book, on TV. It really came into my awareness. And I remember my daughter had gone through something that time. And we had actually gone away. My then husband and I, we had gone away with some friends. And I had explained to one of my friends what had happened. And she said to me, excuse me, don't you think that this is a spiritual battle? And I said, wow, I didn't think of it like that. Anyway, she left and I was sitting on the balcony by myself. And I said, Spirit, if this is a spiritual battle, then let me see a white butterfly sometime today. And I promise you, not even 15 seconds later, a white butterfly flew past. And that was my confirmation. Spirit will always show us signs when we don't believe, when we ask. I remember during my spiritual journey as well, I had these necklaces that were hanging against the wall. And I said to the angels, if you are around me, move those necklaces. Show me that you are around me, move those necklaces. And I lay there watching, probably for about 10 minutes. Nothing happened. And I eventually fell asleep. Anyway, next morning I get up and I think to myself, yeah, right, I knew you weren't around me. And then I went to the bathroom. And as I sat there, I saw this big white feather. As I was looking straight ahead, I saw this big white feather come down, brush across my face, and fall to the floor. And I got such a fright. I was actually stunned. I just sat there first and thinking like, what the hell just happened now? And then it's like you wake up, and I jumped up and I'm looking for this feather. And it was nowhere to be seen. I'll give you another instance. how they show themselves if you really ask. I was dating someone, and intuitively I knew that I needed to release this person from my life. But you know what? I really loved the person, and we tend to talk ourselves into things. We tend to, well, I did. I tended to brush people with the rainbow colors when they actually showed all their red flags. I didn't want to see the bad in people. And Archangel Michael has always been my protector. And so I asked Archangel Michael, asked one day that if I am supposed to break up with this person, if I am supposed to release this person from my life, place a feather on the floor, and I pointed to where I wanted the feather to be placed. Went to work, and when I came back home, lo and behold, there was the feather in exactly the same place I had shown that I wanted it to be. I was blown away. And you know, it's not that you're blown away because you know the signs that they show you, and yet you're blown away whenever it does happen. Because it's like you're touching something that is holy. I've had many experiences like that. I always say my spirit team is extremely powerful. You know, my greatest passion is to help people. To see people thrive. To uplift. I have so much love for the divine. So much love for my spirit team. So much love for humanity. If I can help every single one out there, wow, that would be a blessing. It took me years to come to this point that I can be open and vulnerable like this. My whole life, I hid away behind people. If you had to tell me even a year ago, Nolene, you'd be sitting here putting a message out into the world, being open and vulnerable, I would have said, oh no, not me. Let's go hide away. But here I am. So that was just a little snippet of my story. And there'll be more to follow. Some interesting ones, some interesting stories to tell. But I always hope that it can inspire you in some way. Plant a seed of your true nature. Because what you might not realize is that you are a divine being, that you come from love, and to love you shall return. That when we alchemize through the heart. That we are all weavers. Not all of us are weavers of light, though. But for now, that's it. I think I've been speaking for long enough. I wish you all love, light, and peace. And may the blessings of the divine line your path. So from my heart to yours,